Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
That'll bring up Marlins. A deep drive to right. Oh, the home run. Chris Parmalee with a walk-off winner. Down for a hit. Suzuki hitting around third. He's coming in. Aaron Hicks is the walk-off winner today. Look for Aaron Hicks.
Tonight, the city changes, but the Twins hope for the same result as they land in Boston for the final stretch of this 9-game road trip. Tonight, Minnesota starts a 3-game set against the defending world champs. Kevin Correa will go for the Twins, coming off his most impressive outing of the season. 6 shutout innings and a win in Toronto. And the Red Sox counter with Ruby De La Rosa, Boston's young pitcher who has provided some mixed results in his 3 starts so far with the Red Sox. Good evening and welcome inside beautiful Fenway Park. I'm Jamie Hirsch. The Twins have played 500 baseball so far on this road trip, but would like to head home with a winning road trip. So let's set the stage with this 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Twins. The Twins will see a familiar face in David Ortiz, who haunted his old team earlier this season at Target Field with 4 home runs in 3 games and continues to put up monster numbers against the Twins game after game, year after year. But Fenway Park could be just the place for Joe Mauer to find himself. It's a home away from home for Joe, who loves the Green Monster and has used it to build an impressive 15-game stretch here at Fenway. The Twins have been impressive overall at Boston, winning 6 of their last 8 and having plenty of fun along the way, outscoring the Red Sox 52-33 over that stretch with home runs in their last 6 straight games here. Still to come before first pitch, Dick Bramer and Jack Morris will take a look at Kevin Correa and talk about what he needs to do tonight to get David Ortiz out.
North is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Ram. Guts, glory, Ram. Perennial All-Stars David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox and Joe Mauer of the Minnesota Twins highlight this three-game series. It's a beautiful night for baseball in Boston as the Twins and Red Sox open up a three-game series. And we welcome you to Fenway Park. Dick Bramer along with Jack Morris. The Twins are here in Boston where they played pretty well over the last few years. They hope to get to and then pass the 500 mark. They need much better, more consistent starting pitching, and that starts tonight with Kevin Correa.
Hopefully Kevin Correa can feed off his last start against the Toronto Blue Jays where he went 6 innings of shutout baseball. He had a fairly decent start. His breaking ball right there was one of those pitches that was working for him. And we get to see a real cool play right about here that I don't recommend you really practice because I don't know if you can do it very often, but it got him out of a very big jam at the time and ended up winning the ball game. David Ortiz is the guy that he's going to have to be careful with. In his last series against the Twins at Target Field, you see some monster numbers of that three-game series. He included 4 home runs, and Big Papi loves to set up pitchers with something that I feel you've got to try to avoid. And we're going to get to the Mall of America scouting report on David. You got to be careful with this guy. An off-speed and breaking ball are the pitches that he feeds off of. That's what he wants. You don't want to let him beat you. You never want the best hitter in the lineup to beat you, but pound him with the fastballs. Let his bat speed slow down a little bit, because if he gets you to throw breaking balls, that's exactly what he wants you to do.
Of course, the All-Star game is at Target Field this year. We might see Dustin Pedroia. We might see Brian Dozier, 2 of the game's best at second base in this series. The beginning of the baseball season was a welcome sight. Each spring, the game begins anew when everything else begins again. For the Twins, it brought a new sense of hope. But now the game blossoms in the summer. Today, as the NBA and NHL have crowned their champions, baseball now has the stage all to itself, and the Twins are right in the middle of the act. The summer spotlight shines bright starting tonight in Boston. Both the Twins and the Red Sox are fourth-place teams right now. The Twins actually have a better record than the Red Sox.
The Twins have done very well here for the last couple of years, coming close to sweeping a 4-game series both in 2012 and 2013. The Menards batting order for the Twins: Danny Santana leading things off, then Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer hitting third, Josh Willingham, Kendrys Morales, Oswaldo Arcia, Kurt Suzuki, Eduardo Escobar, and Sam Fuld.
And they will be facing right-hander Ruby De La Rosa. You can see his numbers, 1 and 2 on the year with a 3.93 ERA. He's making his 4th start of the season for the Red Sox, 2nd start here at Fenway, and he's got a very live arm. He can touch the high 90s at times, so we'll see how he fares today.
And he'll face Santana, Dozier, and Mauer to get things started. And Santana takes the first pitch, down and away, ball 1. Santana figures to play a lot of short now that Trevor Plouffe is on the disabled list. Outside again, 2-0. $80 at bats from the left side of the plate, 20 from the right side of the plate. And 3-0. He has drawn 6 walks on the season. And De La Rosa isn't threatening to walk him on 4 pitches to start the ball game. There's a strike on the outside corner.
In the series against the Tigers, he hit the ball hard several times and had really not a lot to show for it, so nice to find a few holes for Danny.
And on the outside corner again, 3-2. De La Rosa just 4 walks in 18 1/3 innings with the Red Sox. Started the year at Pawtucket. Grounded to the right side, easy play for Pedroia. And De La Rosa comes back from 3-0 to retire Santana. Northland Ford defense for the Boston Red Sox. Brock Holt, a converted infielder, is in left. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. Daniel Nava in right. Bogarts and Drew, Pedroia, Napoli, the infielders. And Pierzynski behind the plate. Todd Tishner behind the plate. Fagan, Carlson, and Welke, the umpires on the bases. 1 down. Here's Brian Dozier. And ball 1 to Dozier. Game time temperature 71 degrees, 15 degrees warmer than the average temperature to this point. We've had bad weather all over the country. And just a glorious day here in Boston today. You know, you've had some rain issues again back home.
I didn't really get a chance to talk to anybody about Doge and see how his back's holding up. Hopefully this nice warm weather will agree with him.
Getting off the artificial turf, and now it's 3-0 with John Farrell a little concerned, I'm sure, that De La Rosa is a little wobbly with the strike zone, and now strike 1. Strike 2. The count is full to Dozier. Santana tapped out on a 3-2 pitch. Dozier takes ball 4. Twins haven't seen much of De La Rosa, so it stands to reason they'll be patient with him. Try to get a good look at him. Joe Mauer figures the guy on the mound's got the baseball, and when he throws it, I'm going to pepper the left field wall, because that's what he's done a lot of over the last few years here.
I saw Joe earlier today and talked to him at length, and he loves hitting here. You know, it kind of feeds into his attack going the opposite way. It's only 310 down the line, so if he can elevate the ball, a lot of those balls that are caught in other ballparks are going to be off the green monster.
Mauer takes inside, ball 1. Only 2 batters have had any at bats against De La Rosa, Mauer and Nunez, and of course Nunez is not in the lineup today and is not available. They're trying to rehab his hamstring to allow him to play when we get home. Probably not before that. Dozier takes off, and Pierzynski can't get a handle on the baseball. A stolen base, and that's one thing to watch as we look forward to the Twins enjoying hitting in this ballpark. I think a great opportunity for this team that has a little more speed in the lineup now to do a lot more of this.
Brian gets a good jump. AJ just bobbles the ball a little bit, and it's a good strong indication, number one, that Dozier's fine because he's stealing bases,
right,
and he's going in head first. That's the way he does when he goes into second base typically, so it seems like he's just fine, which is a good sign.
All three of those guys might have a chance to join the 30-30 club. Dozier with another stolen base. He's in scoring position, and it's 3-0 to Joe Mauer. And he comes back with strike one.
Shocking that he didn't swing 3-0, seeing as he's only had 3 hits in his career. 3-0. He takes that pitch. He will work the count. That's what makes him the hitter that he is.
Outside, and now Mauer takes a walk. And that'll bring up Josh Willingham. Again, walks haven't been an issue, but De La Rosa's fallen behind all 3 batters 3-0. He came back to retire Santana and walked Dozier and Mauer.
Josh Willingham comes to the plate with a chance to pick up an RBI. He was very impressive in BP. We were talking about it before the game, how tempting it must be for right-handed hitters in peculiar that love to pull the ball. You know, that monster seems like it's something they can just leave the yard anytime. You were telling me a Harmon Kilber's story.
Big swing and a miss. Well, Harmon, of course, was signed and showed up at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C., and I think it was, what, 402 down the left field line? So then he first came to Boston here, and this wall, it looks like you can reach out and touch it from home plate compared to Griffith Stadium. 1 strike to Willingham, and De La Rosa at least gets ahead of a big, dangerous batter here in the first inning. Inside 1-1.
Now this is the inning that you really want to get to this guy. You can sense that he's having a little control issues, and he has in his career. He's got a very live arm, and you don't want him to get dialed in. Start pumping that fastball, and then get a good feel for the breaking ball. This is a good chance to just jump him.
He's all over the place. 2-1 to Willingham. "20 pitches for De La Rosa, only 7 strikes. Two and one to the Twins cleanup batter. Grounded to third, picked up by Bogaerts, out at second, relay to first, double play. He threw a strike, got a ground ball double play, and the Twins come up empty-handed in the first. some runs. Twins scoreless in the top of the inning. Now the Menards batting order for John Farrell, the Red Sox. Brock Holt leading things off. Xander Bogaerts hitting second. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Mike Napoli, Daniel Nava, Stephen Drew, A.J. Pierzynski, and Jackie Bradley Jr.
They're all going to be facing right-handed Kevin Correa. Kevin's making his 14th start of the year for the Twins. His record 3-7 with a 5.6 ERA. Coming off a win in Toronto his last start. Kevin needs to just try to build off of that. Get ahead early, keep his pitch count down, use his defense.
John Farrell's wondering where all the run scoring has gone. Last year, the Red Sox led the major leagues with 853 runs scored, 5.3 runs per game. This year, they're averaging less than 4 runs scored per game. Only the Tampa Bay Rays have the fewest runs scored so far in the American League. 1 strike to Brock Holt. See if this sounds familiar. Brock Holt is a middle infielder, or at least has been professionally for the Red Sox. But the outfield situation so injury plagued and ineffective that they've had him play some out in the outfield. Twins have had plenty of experience with that too, haven't they?
Sounds
2 strikes.
familiar.
With just about everybody who's been in the infield also playing the outfield. Nunez has been out there. Escobar, Santana. 1-2 to Brock Holt.
Talking to Dustin Pedroia about him, and he says, yeah, he's a great addition to this ball club. Danny Gladden and I were asking him about what's his natural position. He says second base, and he kind of rolled his eyes.
I think they got one of them. 2-2.
John Farrell was just saying what a delight, absolute godsend that he has been for this club. He's brought a lot of energy. He said, I can play him anywhere. He says, I've even thrown him over at first base for a few games. So pretty valuable ball player. Brings energy. He's just kind of a spark plug and can play just about everywhere except catch.
2-2. Correa to Holt. And a tapper foul. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Willingham in left. Arcia in right. Sam Fold in center. Escobar at third. Santana, Dozier, Mauer, and Suzuki behind the plate. And another 2-2 pitch coming from Correa. Up the line, a foul ball.
Kevin could take a slow walk back to the mound. Joe Mauer doing the same at first base. Both guys covering the bag the way they're taught every day in spring training. Pitchers have to do that. So Kevin will reload, try to get a strike in.
Another 2-2 pitch. And another foul ball. Holt hanging tough.
Yeah, he battled a pretty good fastball right there that tailed away. It looked like it was on the outside corner, maybe a little bit off the plate, but he's going to have to protect with 2 strikes. That's what Boston did so well last year. They got deep in the counts. They ground out every bat, called grinders. Just every at bat they would go deep into counts.
And now 3-2.
Pace of game was affected by that, but that was part of their game plan. And they can work the counts and get the pitcher out of the game early because of pitch counts.
Correa in his last start gave up the 6 hits, only walked 1 in his 6 innings against the Blue Jays. They want to start the ball game with a walk here tonight. And another foul, 4th 2-strike foul for Brock Holt. Twins might have seen a little bit of Holt, I suppose, in spring training. The 2 teams play each other about a half-dozen times in Fort Myers. But, I'm sure everybody paying close attention to this at bat. Correa just wants to get it over with, get the guy out. Another foul ball.
Well, he's 3 straight fastballs up and away, and he maybe needs to take a little bit off the fastball, keep it down a little bit more. He'll top the ball, get his bat head out a little bit further. It'll stay in play, and he'll get a ground ball to second or short. Easy said, huh?
Well, I'll tell you
just
what.
Be that easy.
Yeah, whether he gets on base or not, I have a feeling he's going to get some high fives in the Boston dugout. He's made Correa work. This is pitch number 11 already for Correa. And a drive to deep right. Arcia going back. And he makes the catch on the warning track. Very similar to the ball that Victor Martinez hit in the 9th inning yesterday in Detroit, but this time a little bit more room for Arcia to run.
Very, very large right field, tough place to play, and it's the only place in the ballpark that has any shadows right now. Here's what happened yesterday, a ball that was probably lost in the sun. Arcia did not know. Oh, this is the one that he tried to catch off Martinez. Victor Martinez should have caught. He ended up getting an error on that, and ultimately that was a big costly error yesterday. But a lot of room here at Fenway, both to his left and to his right.
Xander Bogaerts. And Correa pumps a fastball over for strike 1. Some regular players, some familiar names for Boston rehabbing at Pawtucket, including Will Middlebrooks, who's played a lot of third base here at Boston the last couple of years. But Bogaerts has played well over there. Started a nifty double play to get the Red Sox off the field in the top of this inning. Middlebrooks is at Pawtucket. Clay Buchholz on the disabled list with a right knee issue. Some flared foul. Felix Doubront. And oddly enough, the Pawtucket team is playing the Twins AAA team tonight in Rochester.
Shane Victorino.
Another one, yep.
And I think he is the heart and soul of this ball club.
1-2 to Xander Bogaerts. Dozier hadn't played perfectly. Dozier catches the line drive, out number 2. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It's been a roller coaster ride for the season for the Red Sox. Very streaky team. The first loss of their 10-game losing streak was the game Aaron Hicks walked them off with a base hit. And then the Red Sox went on to lose 9 more after that. And now since June 2nd, another bit of a skid for the Red Sox.
The way they played last season and ultimately becoming the world champs, there's still a lot of people, of course most of New England here, but a lot of people that think they're going to still get back in the hunt in the East. They're 9 games out starting today, and they have been banged up, but this is still a very, very good ball club. See the ratings in the American League East right there.
If you believe, as some people do, that the Blue Jays will fade as the summer months develop, I'm not one of them, but if you do believe that, then you look at the standings and they're just 4.5 games behind the Yankees and the Orioles.
Well, the one thing that gives a lot of people hope is their starting pitching. If they can get all those guys healthy back in there and pitching the way they can, they have a very, very good starting rotation.
1-2 to Pedroia. And called third strike.
Good inning for
Correa threw about half his pitches to the leadoff man, but has a 1-2-3 inning. now to check out the latest American League All-Star voting results. Fan voting for the All-Star game continues through July 3rd. The All-Star game on July 15th starts at 6:30 Central on Fox. We know Robinson Cano will be at second base, and then it gets interesting. See Matt Wieters leading behind the plate. If you aren't attending this year's All-Star festivities in Minneapolis, you can watch the Home Run Derby Monday, July 14th on ESPN, and the All-Star game from Target Field on the 15th, starting again at 6:30 Central on Fox. Kendrys Morales will lead things off. Matt Wieters, it was announced today, is going to have Tommy John surgery. So regarding the balloting behind the plate, the top vote getter won't be there. He might be there, but he's not going to be able to play. Morales, Arcia, and Suzuki here in the second inning. This is down the left field line, and it's going to turn left. This is a really exaggerated shift with Pedroia almost playing behind the first baseman Napoli. We've seen the second baseman retreat into right field, but look how extreme the shift is for Morales. There's no way Napoli is going to give up a ground ball down the line. He's almost standing on the line. Morales takes up and away.
Interesting watching Kendrys Morales in batting practice. He was taking a lot of what we call the inside out swings. He was trying to shoot the ball the other way with his hands, and we'll see if he does that during the game here tonight.
2-2.
I think a lot of times John Farrell and all the managers that have managed here, when a visiting team comes in, they would love to encourage left-handed hitters to go the other way, thinking that that's playing into the way they want them to.
There's only one infielder over there, and Bogaerts makes the play, one down. One away in the second, and that'll bring up Arcia.
Well, the only guy on the left side of the infield, and of course, wouldn't you know it, you got to hit it right at him.
One down, and that will bring up Arcia. Started to mention before, when we showed you the All-Star voting results, Robinson Cano, the top vote getter, at second, and then a really second base, I think, is going to be one of the more interesting positions to watch. You know, Twins fans have watched Brian Dozier, and they're aware the batting average is in the 240s, but you'd be hard-pressed to come up with anybody in a Twins uniform who has been more valuable to his team than Dozier. He's done a little bit of everything well.
And just other than that little bit of back strain that he's had, he's played in almost every single game, so he's been durable. He's an igniter. He's a guy that makes things happen. And I got to believe if he can continue to play, at least through the All-Star break, a manager, John Farrell, is going to have to take a good hard look at him.
Kipnis has been hurt for the Indians. He's a really good second baseman. 1-2 to Arcia. De La Rosa's gotten ahead of the hitters here in the second, and he fell behind everybody in the first. Kinsler for the Tigers, having a really good year. Just in the American League, Altuve for the Astros, another good one.
Sometimes that happens. You get a lot of great players bunched up in the same position. For a while in the American League, it was third baseman. And now it seems like there's a great crop of second basemen.
Arcia grounds it right side. Napoli has it. Feeds De La Rosa 2 down. Owning Twins season tickets provides a guaranteed seat and a whole lot more. Season ticket holders receive a variety of experiences, benefits, and exclusive access, including All-Star Game ticket purchase priority. The best way to enjoy the All-Star summer is to join the Twins season ticket family, and you can do that by calling 833-TWINS and ask about the season ticket package that best suits you. Kurt Suzuki should also get some All-Star consideration, I would think. Batting average over 300. We mentioned Wieters won't be able to play. Strike one to Suzuki.
Well, again, like Dozier, he's been a very valuable part of this ball club. Probably more than was expected out of him so far, but no indication that things are going to go south for Kurt. He's one of those grinders. I like to call guys and group them into a term that really defines so many things. I call him a ball player. I call Dustin Pedroia a ball player. I call Brian Dozier a ball player. And as far as catchers, this guy, he just brings so many things that help his team.
Fouled back. It's interesting. The Red Sox ended up luring A.J. Pierzynski to Boston on a 1-year deal. Reportedly, the Twins were interested in getting Pierzynski for 2 years. And so, with Pierzynski signing here, they expressed renewed interest in Suzuki. And Suzuki having a much better year than Pierzynski is. And protecting the plate. Every time it seems I bring it up, the man strikes out. But one of the things he does really well is he doesn't strike out. Just about balancing a walk for a strikeout. 17 strikeouts, 18 walks. Down and away, 1-2.
Fastball right there, clocked at 98 miles an hour here on the Fenway gun. Not sure how accurate that is, but he can get it up there. He rushes that fastball.
Chopper to third. Bogarts fires across. 3 ground ball outs. A much better second inning for Ruby De La Rosa. Men in the game. Tony Gwynn succumbed to cancer today at the age of 54. When we were in San Diego a few weeks ago, we had heard that Tony was not doing well. We're very saddened by this on many levels. Obviously one of the best hitters of all time, but those who knew him just a little bit like me, or those who knew him very well, remarked about what a genuinely nice guy he was, and Tony will be missed. And it's really tough. The baseball community of San Diego, he meant everything to that team, and what he didn't mean, Jerry Coleman meant. And Jerry just passed away a few months ago as well. Very sad time for.
Great guy, probably the best hitter of his era in the National League for sure.
You faced him in the World Series in '84.
'84.
Ortiz threatens to bunt. Twins would love that. If he dropped down 12 bunts in this series, the Twins would be laughing every time.
Well, he'd clog up the bases, so that'd be perfect.
Ortiz, Napoli, and Nava in the second inning.
It's 3 out of 4 first pitch strikes for Kevin Correa.
Up and away, 1-1. Ortiz had the epic series at Target Field. 8 hits, 4 home runs, a double, 3 singles. into right field, and they're waiting for the ground ball as Dozier won away. Some thoughts from the Twins clubhouse regarding the passing of Mr. Padre.
Very, very nice guy. Always smiling. Loved to talk hitting. Loved to talk baseball. Playing against him a little bit and then watching him on the field, and he was a pleasure. The guy could do a lot of things with a baseball bat, but I think that infectious smile that he had made everybody feel good around him. One of those types of guys.
A very humble guy, obviously very talented, but I think in times like this you think of more about the man than ability. And a gracious guy who gave back to his community throughout his career, and just seemed to have a really good balance in his life of how to keep things in perspective. He worked very hard at his craft, but his life was a lot more important than just that.
Early in Paul's career, he wintered in San Diego, and he told me today he actually worked out with Tony Gwynn during the off-season a lot, and they played a lot of basketball together. People tend to forget that Tony went to San Diego State on a basketball scholarship and didn't even play baseball his freshman year there. Just a great all-around athlete. 2-0, and a high fly to center. Fold going back, and on the track makes the catch. 2 down. And Tony Gwynn with a career batting average of .338, member of the 3,000 hit club. What do you remember about pitching to him in the World Series?
I don't remember a lot, to be honest with you. We only played 5 games. I did get two games against Tony, and I think I had the better part of it, and that's not to take anything away from what he did, but we were very aware of him. I remember the scouting reports. It's like one thing you don't want to do, and we talked about it here with David Ortiz. You don't want Tony Gwynn to beat you, so be careful with him and take your chances with everybody else.
Tony Gwynn led off in the 1985 All-Star game at the Metrodome and just won at bat. 1-0 to Daniel Nava. And a strike. They just had a couple of encounters with Tony, and they were just fun because I think he made those around him enjoy their time with him, whether it was for 3 minutes or 3 hours. 1-1.
Well, he was one of those guys, and you talk about the All-Star game. I think every one that I played in, except maybe one because I was older than him. 81 he might not have been in. It seems like every other one I played in, he was in. And so when you went to the All-Star game, you expected you're going to face Tony Gwynn. I mean, he's that good.
1-2. And a drive to center. Sam Fold over to the gap to make the catch. And another 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Correa. We are scoreless through 2. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. No score. Top of the third inning. Neither team with a hit for that matter. The Twins took a couple of walks in the first inning. But Ruby De La Rosa got a ground ball double play off the bat of Josh Willingham. It'll be Eduardo Escobar leading off the third for the Twins. Escobar, Fold, and Santana. The speed we referenced before coming up here now in the third inning. The Twins, I think, would like to employ the running game here if the right guys get on base. Gloved by De La Rosa, and Escobar will be retired. All the outs, all 7 of them for De La Rosa on ground balls. And that'll bring up Sam Fold.
And I don't know if he's known as a sinker ball pitcher. It just happened that a lot of balls are being topped right now.
Fold. Hoping to get Minnesota's first hit. Grew up about an hour from here. And he takes ball 1. Checked his swing, ball 2. Want to pass along happy 63rd anniversary to a couple of dear friends and fixtures in the Twins organization. Ken and Martha Staples celebrating number 63 today. Down low, 3-0. De La Rosa had 3 3-0 counts in the first inning. And now another one here in the third. Down the middle, 3-1. And Fold takes a walk. We'll see whether he's anxious to steal second base. Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com.
Twins need to take advantage of that walk. It's the third one of the game for De La Rosa.
Santana had a 3-0 count. De La Rosa threw a couple of strikes and got Santana to bounce out to second. And there goes Fold on the first pitch, and Pierzynski again. Can't get a grip on the baseball, and it's another stolen base without a throw.
AJ just coming up, and that's twice in a row, like Dick just said. Maybe he just knows that there's no way he's going to throw out the runner, so that's a good way to make it look better. I don't know. You never know with catchers. I know one thing. He went out there to tell De La Rosa to give him a better look and maybe mix up his looks at first base, change his rhythm a little bit so they don't get as good at jumps.
2-0 to Santana. Twins in another position here where a hit to the outfield anyway would produce the game's first run. Santana's first trip to this historic ballpark. Driven hard to center field, down for a hit. Fold being held, and Santana now is going to get trapped between first and second. And now he's going to be safe at second, and Fold is trapped between third and home. Santana scampers to third. Fold tagged out, 2 away. The mistake seemed to be on Santana as the ball hit the cutoff man, And he was hung out to dry after Fold had been stopped at third.
Well, Danny Santana aggressive around first base, but he's got to let the ball get through, and he did not do that. Mike Napoli is the cutoff man. You can see it develop right here. Jackie Bradley Jr. gets rid of the ball right to Napoli, and then Napoli just kind of waits for Fold to make a mistake. Once they do, AJ realizes all I have to do now is run back Fold. There's no way that I'm not going to get at least one out. The Twins kind of lose a scoring opportunity there.
Twins do get a hit to the outfield, but no run on the board. Here's Dozier with Santana at third. Down and away, ball one. Scoring play goes 8-3-5-2 after the single by Santana. Dozier walked, stole second his first time up. And I don't know whether Santana saw that Napoli wasn't in position. He kind of ran in to take the cutoff throw. And I'm just trying to imagine what the young man was thinking as he was heading toward second base. Napoli kind of ran into the area behind the mound to pick off the throw from Jackie Bradley Jr. Dozier hits it to second, right at the second baseman Pedroia. Twins get a walk, a stolen base, and a hit, but still nothing in the run column. Shutout ball against Toronto with a couple of them so far here tonight. Time now for you to tweet a photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. It'll be Stephen Drew, A.J. Pierzynski, and Jackie Bradley Jr. here in the Boston third. 6 up, 6 down for Correa. Stephen Drew has had a tough time getting untracked here with the Red Sox. Had a chance to visit with them briefly before the game. Of course, he worked out with Kendrys Morales at the baseball complex down in Miami in limbo as an unsigned free agent. And Drew had the benefit of some time in the minor leagues to kind of work his way into shape. Morales did not. And instead, Morales started hitting right away and really hasn't stopped. And for Drew, he's waiting to get started. Drew just 18 at bats, 3 hits, 1 run batted in, but 7 strikeouts. There's one blasted to left. Willingham will hope for a bounce, and he'll get one. And it's a double for Stephen Drew. First Boston hit, and it comes leading off the third inning.
Kevin Correa had been perfect for the first 2 innings. 6 up, 6 down. There's the fastball we talk about in his last start to try to avoid. Fastball out over the plate. And Drew doing what the monster's drawing you to do, and that's hit it off of it. These guys that play here at Fenway all the time, they kind of have a good feel for where a ball bounces off that wall, whether or not they can leg out a double or have to hold up at first base.
Here's A.J. Pierzynski. Pierzynski 201 at bats. A little pop-up. And Santana with the catch, and one pitch after Drew's double, he still stands at second base.
Another first pitch strike for Kevin. He's done a very good job of that so far today, so he is pounding the strike zone. Let's see if he can get out of an inning with a runner in scoring position.
Jackie Bradley Jr. will hit. Bradley's had a tough time getting going. 70 strikeouts in 202 at bats. Strike one. To give you some idea how run scoring's been an issue for the Red Sox, the Twins have played 2 fewer games than Boston, but they scored 22 more runs. And you look at some of these batting averages and you can start to comprehend why the run scoring has been one of the biggest reasons why the Red Sox are in 4th place rather than 1st. 2 strikes now to Bradley. And they led the major leagues in runs scored a year ago.
See the numbers for the league right there, both leagues. Excuse me, that's just the American League.
2 strikes. Nice block by Suzuki. That ball landed 3 feet in front of the plate. Twins aren't known as a power hitting team, but they have 5 more home runs than the Red Sox. One and two.
Funny what the difference a year can make.
And slugging percentage is higher than the Red Sox. It's been an issue, and we're deep enough into the season. This is the 70th game of the year for the Red Sox. 1 and 2 to Bradley. Pulled foul.
Just this small size sample of Bradley and Correa matchup. Correa winning the battle so far. Bradley's 0 for 2 off of him.
Correa had a short start against the Red Sox at Target Field back in May. Missing inside, 2 and 2. Correa had back-to-back starts in May in Cleveland, at home against Boston. 2 starts, a total of 8 1/3 innings, and 17 runs allowed. Foul tip. Suzuki hangs on, and it's a strikeout for out number 2. And that'll get us back to the top of the order, and Brock Holt.
Another good job for Kurt Suzuki here. You can see the ball's down in his dirt. Just barely nicks it.
Red Sox have really struggled in situations like the one we're seeing here in the 3rd inning. They've got a leadoff double. They've not hit well with men in scoring position. All the things they did last year on their way to the World Series and the World Championship. They're struggling offensively in that regard this year. Holt takes outside a ball.
Again, it's pretty remarkable feat, and you've got to look back in history of the great Yankee teams. The back-to-back type world champions. Those things are hard to do. It's hard enough to win one, and then repeat is a very difficult thing.
What was the missing element in 1985 and 84? From the first weeks of the season, it was apparent the Detroit Tigers were the best team in baseball. You went through the whole regular season playoffs, won the World Series, but What was missing in '85 that was there in '84?
You know, probably more than anything else, it was drive and focus. I think there's something about winning that, you know, if you don't keep that same desire, something's missing. It somehow is brought to the field. Mentally, you don't realize you're doing it. You don't understand it, but you just don't drive and push and grind like these Boston Red Sox hitters did last year. I'm trying to think if there was injuries involved in '85 that we didn't have in '84. I just can't remember.
2-1 to Holt. 3-1. A base is open, and Bogaerts is on deck. Well, the Twins had a competitive team in 1988, but didn't make it to the postseason. They had a competitive team in 1992, but did not make it to the postseason. There's a strike. 3-2. Maybe it's something to do with the length of the regular season. You play all these high-profile games in October, and the exaggeration here, but the entire world is watching. And then you start on April 1st or whenever, and everybody has the same record, and you've got to play for 6 months every night, every day, just to get back to the platform you were in the October before.
I think you bring up a very good point. The fact that you're playing in the month of October when other teams aren't, that's a whole added in a high pressure month. And you might have something to that.
3-2. Correa had a long battle with Holt in the first inning. Finally got him on a deep fly ball. And he misses outside. Sends him to first with a walk. First and second, 2 down for Bogaerts.
First walk of the game for Kevin.
Bogaerts had a liner to Dozier his first time up. First 2 balls put in play against Correa were hit sharply, but both were for outs.
Now he needs to make a couple pitches right here. You don't want to start making mistakes, and that's what Kevin needs to try to avoid, is those ugly innings. He's done so well so far.
Starts him with a strike.
He's done a very good job of that tonight. First pitch strikes.
Bogaerts tops on the rookie list for hits with 68. Outside 1-1. Correa trying to pitch around a leadoff double. Missing low. Swing and a miss. Would have been a cutter.
Good breaking ball, whatever that was. I think that's a slider. You get to see it again right here. Starts about middle of the plate and just really sweeps across. Doesn't have a lot of downward plane, which would indicate a cutter. But cutters usually don't break that much. Very good pitch.
2-2. 50th pitch of the night for Kevin Correa. That's a chopper foul. Twins it was an oddity in the schedule back-to-back years. They had 4-game series here in 2012 and 2013. They won 3 out of 4. 4-game sweeps are hard. They're hard here, but yet you guys did it in 1991.
Yeah, it was a real uplifting time for us when we came in and swept Boston in Boston. And you reminded me how hot it was that series. We came out of here feeling pretty good about ourselves.
Tapper to third. And firing on the run, Escobar forces Mauer to get on his tiptoes. And it'll be Mauer leading off the fourth in a scoreless game. That was last year here at Fenway Park, and that sound I'm sure familiar to a lot of us who threw tennis balls or whatever against a garage door when we were kids and got in trouble for that. But boy, the Twins just peppered the Green Monster here last year in the 4-game series, and Mauer was a big part of it. He'll lead off the 4th inning. 1-0 to Mauer, who drew a walk in the first, and he takes a strike that covers the inside corner. You've been behind the Green Monster, right?
I've gone in there. There's the manual score board behind there, and there's a door somewhere. I can't remember where it is. They still have the ladder in left field for no apparent reason other than nostalgia.
This one to the left, but it won't carry to the wall, and crouching Holt as if that ball went into the lights, 1 down. Yeah, I've not seen a ball hit the ladder yet. I'd like to see that. Just because I've been staring at it for 25 years.
I saw at least one when I was playing for the Tigers. I believe it was a Red Sox player that hit it out there. No, you know what? As a matter of fact, it wasn't, because I remember Yaz was in left field.
Okay.
And it ricocheted towards the corner. And amazingly, he could sense it was going to hit it. And he was over there. The guy was held to a single. It might have been Rusty Staub.
Willingham takes ball 1. He hit into an inning-ending double play in the first inning. Brzezinski can't make that catch. 2-0. Rosa giving up 1 hit. Santana's sharp single to center. He's issued 3 walks. Missing inside, 2-1. You look at Willingham's numbers, and you know he got his season interrupted with the broken wrist. And it's easy to be impressed with the 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. This one hit a mile in the air. backing out of play. But maybe a better testament to hitters talk about being able to see the ball well are the 20 walks. That's a lot of walks with 82 at bats. That's, well, 1 out of every 5 plate appearances. He ends up going to first with a walk. 3-1. He was green lighted on 3-0. Now swing and a miss, strike 2.
De La Rosa taking a little bit off there. Breaking ball that had Josh out in front. Kendrys Morales on deck.
Another 3-ball count. Now 3-2, and Willingham takes a called third strike. And Willingham is out number 2 here in the 4th. Straight change. Something 87 miles per hour.
Yeah, a changeup that you don't typically want to throw there. You want to throw that changeup down and away, but it fooled Josh. He thought it was a ball.
2 down. Here's Kendrys Morales. Well, this is interesting. Morales in the 2nd inning led off the inning, and they had this extreme shift on. And now with 2 outs in the 4th, they're playing pretty much straight up. Completely different infield alignment than they had in his first at bat. Maybe he just needed to show them he's willing to hit the ball to the opposite field. 2-0.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
Tap to the right side. Napoli, De La Rosa, and a 1-2-3-4. No score in Boston. Toronto Blue Jays, and now so far 3 against the Red Sox. You can join the Twin season ticket family and receive discounts on some of your purchases at Target Field. As a season ticket holder, you'll get a 10% discount on concessions and merchandise while you're at the ball game. So call 800-33-TWINS or go online twinsbaseball.com and take advantage of the perks that come with the opportunity. Dustin Pedroia will lead off the 4th. He was called out on strikes to wrap up the 1st inning. Each team's had some chances to score, or at least one. The Red Sox got a leadoff double in the 3rd, but didn't score. Fox Tracks presented by Ram, and there's ball 1. Pedroia, Ortiz, and Napoli. Pedroia was retired to wrap up the 1st. That meant Ortiz came up leading off the inning with the bases empty.
That's a very good plan, a very good way to pitch David Ortiz. Make sure the bases are empty.
Well, somebody's getting him out because he entered the game hitting less than 250. It's just the Twins have had a terrible time doing that. 2-0 to Pedroia. Half swing, but he went.
Probably having a little trouble getting on track this year himself. His numbers are usually a little bit better than what we see on the scoreboard today.
To right, and Arcia back with a catch, one down. So Ortiz will come to the plate with the bases empty. You know, I think what we've seen, Jack, on this road trip, the Twins' batting order just looks a lot more dangerous with the addition of one guy. Well, if it stands to reason that one hitter can make that much difference on the positive side to a lineup, well, then the reverse should also be true. This Red Sox lineup, you know, without, as you said, Victorino, you thought he was one of their key guys last year. You take somebody like that out of the lineup and just the opposite can happen.
Well, and we'll have that affect ourselves for a while with Trevor Plouffe, who has really done a great job in the run production part anyway. Without him in the lineup, whether or not the Twins will continue to pound the ball the way they have.
Strike one to Ortiz. Hit a ground ball to Dozier in short right field his first time up. Big swing and a miss.
You don't see David swinging at pitches up there very often. He likes the low ball more than he likes the high ball. That one he chased up in his eyes.
Outside. Talk about the Twins' schedule, and it's been tough with so many road games, so short of homestands that they've had, and now this week and a half long road trip. Red Sox going through a similar challenge. 19 of the 28 games in June spent on the road. This is the only substantial homestand that they'll have in June. Again, Dozier this time will charge it to make the play. 2 down. And they ended up splitting a 4-game series with the Indians and now have 3 here with the Twins. Join Fox Sports North at the next HD viewing party tomorrow beginning at 5:30 p.m. at Lone Oak Grill in Eagan. You can watch the Twins take on the Red Sox, meet the Fox Sports North girls, enjoy drink specials, register for tickets and prizes, and be on TV. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the More tab for details. 2 gone here in the 4th. That'll bring up Napoli. Hit a fly ball to Sam Fold his first time up.
Napoli hit it a long way in that first at bat. The wrong place to hit it in this ballpark. Kind of out in that triangle, center field, a little shaded towards right center.
1 strike. Close pitch, 1-1. Correa said after his start against Toronto, the only difference was he just made better pitches in key situations. Sharply hit on 2 hops. Dozier smothers it. Back to a 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Correa in the 4th. And it'll be Oswaldo Arcia leading off the 5th for the Twins. See fans of the game, Twins fans, near the Twins dugout. Talked to a lot of Minnesotans who came out here, and a couple of groups of them said it was a bucket list type of a thing for them, that they wanted to see the Twins play at Fenway Park, and this was the trip to do it.
I saw a bunch of Twins fans today walking around town.
What was your first impression of this ballpark when you walked in it?
Man, it's old. Babe Ruth played here. And it was. I mean, they've done a great job of the renovation of this place compared to what it used to be. The hallways in particular, seemed like back in those days all the concrete was just all cracked and falling apart, water everywhere. But now they built the seats above the monster. I think that was a huge plus. It's really a quaint place now. That Crazy Field's pretty much the same though.
Yeah. And the clubhouse is cramped. I mean, you go from a new ballpark like Comerica Park, where everything's kind of spacious, and even in the visiting clubhouse, and then, I mean, it is a very tight squeeze.
You get along,
clubhouse.
You get along as a team playing in either the home or the visiting club here.
Fouled back,
especially the visiting club.
It's got to be a challenge. I'm sure the Twins have been here in September after call-ups have been made, but there's scarcely an extra locker in the clubhouse.
During postseason last year, I was asked to go in there a couple times, and with the press after games, it is just ridiculously crowded.
And Arcia gets time. He's got a 1-2 count, trying to get something started for the Twins in the fifth. They have just one hit, and they've taken 3 walks against Ruby De La Rosa. Swing and a miss. And Arcia's struggles at the plate continue. 1 away. And we'll bring up Suzuki.
That particular pitch has been hard on Oswaldo the last couple of weeks. He's chasing that ball, that back foot slider, breaking ball, and swinging over top of it, kind of pulling off a little bit. Second strikeout there for Ruby.
I always thought this would be a terrible ballpark for a hitter to strike out in, because you've got a long walk to the dugout. I bet you Arcia took about 35 steps to get from the batter's box to the dugout. You strike out, and you can't get in there and hide right away.
Oh, you mean so they're going to act like a pitcher who gets lit up? Trust me, I've had to take that walk a few times in this ballpark, and it's a long way.
Long walk from the mound,
from
too.
The mound, yeah, especially when they're playing Hit the Road Jack.
How many times do you suppose you heard that in visiting ballparks?
Oh, bunch. It started in Kansas City. I thought it was funny the first time I heard it. And it decreased every single time. I was more and more annoyed because I knew they were playing it for me.
Milt Wilcox gets knocked out, and he doesn't get a special song, right?
Oh, you got to have something special.
3-0 to Suzuki. Bounced to third his first time up. Likely to be taking here. And he takes a strike.
2 hits in this game so far, each team with 1.
Three and 1 to Suzuki. He'll be followed by Escobar. Driven hard to center, but right at Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 down. Escobar, the batter. I just handed a note here. Our stats guy back there says, as if I didn't know this, the Twins ended the 1967 season at Fenway, losing the pennant to Boston. I did not need to be reminded of that, because did you notice the artwork that's right outside the door?
Mostly, yeah.
It's the celebration after the Red Sox beat the Twins. Here's a ground ball to second, and I swear they hang that picture just when the Twins come to town, just to get under my skin.
Old.
Probably the coolest ballpark out there. It ranks right up there with Wrigley for me as far as old-time nostalgia games.
Nostalgia is amazing, and the fans and crowd are always great there.
The green wall always makes it entertaining there. You never know what's going to happen.
I guess that's a testament to how special this place is, despite the cramped clubhouses and the oldness of it that I think most people really enjoy, whether it's a fan or a player. They like being here.
It works for this city, and that's what's amazing. You know, we are lucky enough to see all the new ballparks.
Right. Daniel Nava takes a strike.
And there will never be a new one built like this.
No, that's true.
You know, and yet the test of time, and they've enhanced it, of course, and with the refurbishing of it a few years back.
In a perverse way, I suppose, it brings to mind the sadness that some of us felt when the Metrodome was torn down, because there are very special memories there. Not the history that they've had here at Fenway Park. But when I come here, one of the first things I look for is the red seat way beyond the bullpen in right field where Ted Williams hit the home run. Well, we had the gold seat at the Metrodome, right, where Kirby hit the home run that won Game 6 that set up your heroics in Game 7. But
there was a red seat where Harmon hit one at the old
Met Stadium. You're right. 2 strikes to Nava, and it's not the same. I mean, the seat is still in front of a storefront at the Mall of America or something. The one from Harmon's seat. I think the Twins have kept the gold seat from the Metrodome and kept it in storage, but it's just not the same. You can't bring your child, your grandchild, and say, I was there when that home run was hit. 1-2 to Daniel Nava, leading off the Boston 5th, and he pokes it down the left field line. Fair ball. Willingham will fire it towards second. Made a nice play on that ball, holding Nava to a leadoff single.
That's the kind of play where the left fielder, in this particular instance, Josh Willingham, can kind of lure the base runner into maybe trying to go to second base by how long it takes him to kind of field that ball in left field. Josh was waiting for this ball to be played off the wall. Does a nice job once he gets the ball, getting rid of it quick, and then Nava has to put on the brakes and get back to first base.
Stephen Drew doubled midway up the green monster and left, leading off the 3rd inning, but he never moved from second base. Correa's gotten only 5 ground ball double plays this year. Strike.
He got a big one in his last game in Toronto. We were talking about that game earlier, and really the turning point in that game, in my opinion, is how just sheer luck and reflex, turning his back and catching the ball behind his back, throwing home.
Fastball just off the plate.
That got him out of an inning and just took away all the momentum that the Jays might have had. And then he went on cruise control.
Red Sox couldn't score in the 3rd after a leadoff double. We'll see what they get done here after a leadoff single. That's a fair ball. And that'll be played by the shortstop Santana, firing to second base, and Drew is tagged out. A big play at second base, getting it out, and a nice alert play by a shortstop who in this ballpark is asked to do something shortstops normally aren't asked to do, and that is play the carom off the stands.
I'm sure Paul Molitor and all the coaches reminded Danny Santana what he has to do here. And this particular ball, unique to Fenway, it hits right in the corner, ricochets back, and Danny Santana is able to be right on top of it, shows off his strong arm. Brian Dozier does a great job of, number one, catching the ball at second base and then applying the tag.
Well, Drew trying for a second double. Instead, he's the first out. Twins bring the infield in for Pierzynski. Outside, Pierzynski was the first man up after Drew's double hit the first pitch to short left, caught by Santana. It was a big at bat for Correa as he pitched around the leadoff double. 1-0. Full windup for Correa. What'd you like to do with guys at third base? And say this instance, one out. Were you a stretch guy or a full windup guy?
Unless I knew the guy at third could absolutely fly, I would always wind up. But for me, it was literally day and night, black and white. I prefer to wind up. It always seemed to be a lot of work to stretch.
2-0 to Pierzynski.
But with one out, sometimes I would stretch. Or no outs.
To left. Willingham will throw right down the baseline. And he won't throw at all. Nava scores, and the Red Sox get the first run of the game. Sacrifice fly for Pierzynski. It's 1-0. Nava put one right on the chalk line. He ends up coming around to score. And that'll bring up Jackie Bradley Jr. First run that Correa has given up on this road trip, covering 10 1/3 innings, 10 2/3 innings now. Fouled off a leg, 1 strike. Red Sox would love to get Victorino back. He's got a hamstring issue. Surfaced in Minnesota against the Twins at Target Field.
The balmy weather we had early in the year.
1-1. Two and 1.
$75 pitches for Kevin. It's been a quiet night here. 4 hits total, only 1 run scored.
Back to Correa. The Red Sox get a couple of hits to start the inning and turn it into the first run of the game. At home, bring your Circle Me signs. If you get circled, you might find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle, where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. One of the more fervent Red Sox fans is author Stephen King, who is linked now to the Twins organization. One of his books, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and of course Tom Gordon is the father of Nick Gordon, the #1 draft choice for the Twins this year. Here's Sam Fuld, and he takes a strike at the knees. Fuld, Santana, and Dozier in the 6th against Ruby De La Rosa. Chopper. And Stephen Drew, no relation, throws him out. Fuld retired. One down in the 6th, and now Danny Santana. Twins with just one hit in the game. It came off the bat of Santana. A sharp single to center, and Jackie Bradley hit the cutoff man, as outfielders are instructed to do.
A little base running mistake that might have cost the Twins a run.
Inside ball 1. Santana with a bouncer to second, the single. Looked like De La Rosa was going to run into and be victimized by his own control difficulty early in the ball game, but now he's tightened that up. He walked 3 men the first time through the batting order and none the second time through the batting order. 1-1 to Danny Santana. An alert base running play that helped the Twins give up just the 1 run in the 5th. There's a bunt foul up the line. 1-2.
Danny Santana showing more signs that he's going to attempt the bunt and try to make that part of his offensive attack. And he'll try to push it the other way to third base at times. In this particular case, Mike Napoli was playing back, and he thought if I could drag it down the line, he could beat De La Rosa to first.
1-2. Lofted to center, and retreating is Bradley. Still going back, and that ball caught on the edge of the track. Not much wind to speak of, but that seemed to carry a little bit further than Bradley expected. 2 down. Our Soup.com trivia question: who was the last Twins player to have at least 15 home runs and 15 stolen bases in a season? Dozier did it, stealing his 15th base in the first inning. He already had the 15 home runs.
That can't be too far back, can it?
Torrey must have done it, don't you think? Torrey Hunter?
Might be after Torrey. I think who that would be.
Just off the plate, 1-1. Mentioned it in the open, the Twins have played well here, and they have particularly played well in the late innings here. A lot of big hits late in ball games that have been, for the most part, very close ball games. So we'll see if that plays out again here in the opening game of this series. 2 gone in the 6th. And 1-2 to Brian Dozier. Foul back. Dozier leading the league with 55 runs scored. 3 more than Josh Donaldson. 2-2. Third in the league in walks. Hoping to extend the inning for Joe Mauer. And into the seats over the Boston dugout.
AJ and De La Rosa are kind of trying to pitch Brian away. Kind of wonder if once in a while they might sneak the fastball in. And that's the pitch that Brian could lose here.
And now a full count. De La Rosa walked Dozier in the first. Then he walked Mauer, who has had only 1 walk since. Full count to the Twins second baseman. Nubbed, foul.
Good off-speed pitch. Just enough to get that hitter out in front. Changes their attack, doesn't have that aggressive swing. Their bat actually can slow down at times trying to make contact.
Hooked foul.
Right into the Twins dugout.
Dugouts are a long ways from home plate. That ball still got there in a hurry. Dozier having a 2-out battle here with Ruby De La Rosa. Got him. Struck him out. That's 10 in a row set down by De La Rosa. The Red Sox hold on to a 1-0 lead. Let's go places. To find your nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious, creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. Red Sox got a run in the fifth. So far it's holding up 1-0, bottom of the sixth. And it'll be the top of the order. Brock Holt leading things off against Kevin Correa, who's given the Twins another good start here tonight. And that's what the Twins are looking for, Jack, not just from Correa, but from Ricky Nolasco and everybody else in the rotation. This team won't be able to take off unless or until the starters go through the rotation a few times with starts kind of like this.
Well, you can't really knock anything that Kevin's done tonight. It's been an excellent outing so far as he takes on the top of the order here in the bottom of the sixth inning. It'd be nice to see him get through at least the sixth and maybe the seventh and have the same result. Then you can't fault him one bit.
Just outside 2-1.
79 pitches. That was number 80.
Twins maintained all along there was a corner out there for Correa to turn, just to get him back to where he was last year when he was the most consistent starting pitcher that the Twins had. High fly to center and full back a step, one away. And the Twins in the first 26 games had a discouraging ERA in the rotation of 6.04, and now over the last 41 games much better.
Yeah, over the last 41, it's still a little high. You'd like to see that team ERA maybe under 4 for sure, closer to 3.5. But with this offense, that would probably work. They just need to get it going.
Bogaerts drops his bat and bends out of the way, and it looked like the pitch almost broke over the inside corner.
A little bit different way of getting out of the way. Haven't seen that too many times.
Well, the Twins put a shift on for a right-handed batter. Half swing, they'll appeal. Nope, 2-0. Dozier playing on the third base side of second base. Correa's given up just 3 hits, but back-to-back hits to start the 5th inning sent the Red Sox up for the game's lone run.
I noticed as this game kind of turned the corner in the 4th inning, Kevin's thrown quite a few more fastballs, challenging the hitters and especially throwing them up in the zone. There's a lot of room in center field and in right field. If you can get the hitter to go that way, fastball up can work.
3-1. I can only imagine that your confidence must soar when you've got better command of your pitches, and I think it's one thing we've seen from Kevin, isn't it? The last couple starts, maybe throwing more fastballs today because he's got a better idea where the ball is going. And Dozier has to cut across, stumbling, and it'll be a base hit for Bogaerts, hustling down the line, and Dozier had to cover a lot of ground before he could even get to that ground ball because of the shift.
And Kevin was playing on the shortstop side of second base and then had to run a long way to it. I think it had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove, and he was stumbling a little bit. Bogaerts runs real well. We get another look at it here. You can see him going to his left, and just for a second had a tough time getting it out of his glove. That's all it took for Bogaerts. Correa almost got it. Once it got by him, you knew it was going to be a tough play.
So a 1-out single, and now Dustin Pedroia. Strikeout and a fly ball to right. And now through the hole to left. And there will be 2 men aboard now for David Ortiz. An infield hit and a ground ball into left field. First and second, 1 down. Our Sanford Health injury report. Torrey Hunter leaving the game with the Royals with a hamstring cramp. And the Tigers will cross their fingers hoping it's kind of like Eduardo Nunez's hamstring situation with the Twins. Maybe a couple of games. Royals have a 4-2 lead over Detroit in the 6th inning.
And the Royals have been rolling.
7 in a row.
If they could win tonight, the Twins could figure out a way to come back. The Twins could pick up a game on the Tigers. The Royals would just be a half a game out.
Ortiz with 2 ground balls to Dozier in right field. Now with 2 runners on, the Twins have to play the infield with a conventional alignment. With the bases empty, Correa was able to retire Ortiz.
Dick, this is still a situation where I believe you've got to really be careful. Make your pitch. If he doesn't chase, if he doesn't bite, so be it. You load it up and you take your chances with Napoli. He doesn't run all that well. If you can get a ground ball from Napoli, you can still get out of this inning. But you don't want to throw a cookie to David Ortiz. This is how he wins ball games for the Red Sox.
2-0. Even if it means walking the bases full.
Even if it means, because you've got an out. You still have the double play in order. If you can get the, you've got to be confident you can make the pitch to Napoli. But he's not exactly the greatest runner. And then you'd have Ortiz that's at first base, who's not going to break up a double play.
And a strike taken, 2-1.
Here's the other thing that David can do to you. He can lure you into getting 2 strikes, thinking that you're 1 pitch away from an out, and then you overthrow a pitch trying to muscle up sometimes. Leave it right in his whooping zone. So you always have to be confident in your ability to throw the ball where you want to. Let him be the one to be over aggressive.
Just off the plate, 3-1. Napoli on deck.
Managers would never encourage walking the bases loaded. Never. This is something the pitcher has to do within themselves to understand what you can do with the hitter at the plate, the hitter on deck.
Now 3-2. Ortiz has faced Correa 7 times. Correa's never struck him out. Of course, Kevin's not much of a strikeout pitcher. He does have a couple of them here tonight. I don't know where or what he can throw to strike out Ortiz.
Little gamesmanship from David right there. Correa took quite a while to get his sign, and just before he's coming to a set, he steps out.
Pulled foul, just wide of the line.
Too much of the plate right there. Kevin caught a break. And a lot of times you say to yourself, well, what about those odds, Jack? What about 7 out of 10 guys making out, or 7 out of 10 times the great hitters making out? All I can say is this is the time. This is David Ortiz's time right here, and he takes a heck of a swing. Man, just inches foul.
Another 3-2 from Correa. High fly, center field, fold back. At the wall, makes the catch, and no one will advance. Kind of surprised Bogaerts didn't try to tag. He played it about 15 feet off the bag. And it's a big second out here in the 6th inning. Now on FoxSportsNorth.com, Twins minor league update from Tyler Mason. How the Wolves can move forward with possibly losing Kevin Love. He may be playing here in Boston before it's all said and done. And then peeking ahead to the NHL draft with recent late round finds. You believe it, Jack? It's June 16th. And the NBA and NHL seasons are already over with.
How about the USA soccer team?
There you go. They won 2-1. Very nice. Here's Napoli. 1st and 2nd, 2 gone. Rolled to short. And nice job by Kevin Correa pitching around a couple of 1-out singles, keeping this game 1-0. deep on the board. And Correa's pitched well for the Twins, and Ruby De La Rosa's done well for the Red Sox. Brzezinski's fly ball to left, scoring the only run of the game. Daniel Nava, he singled on the left field line to start the inning. And we'll see if the Twins can give Kevin Correa some runs to work with. Looks like Rick Anderson's coming over to chat. Might mean his night is done.
Well, he's got 95 pitches, and anytime he's around 100, he's probably asking Kevin right now. And Kevin might have a little say in the matter whether he goes out for the 7th.
Mauer with a swing and a foul. He tried to turn around a first pitch fastball. 1 strike.
Haven't seen Joe take those kind of swings in a while. There's a lot of room down the right field line here. Daniel Nava pretty much playing straight away. And this is a ballpark where there seems to be a lot more room in right field because of the dimension. It goes all the way to 380 there in the behind the right fielder.
On the outside corner, 0-2. Mauer, Willingham, and Morales here in the Twins' 7th. La Rosa's been outstanding for the Red Sox tonight. He's retired 10 in a row since the lone Twins hit Santana's single in the 3rd. Mauer flips it foul. Yeah, you were saying just yesterday or the day before in Detroit how you never understood how some outfields can seem larger than others because the game is played at a right angle, but now here you go.
This is the exception because it's so much different as far as the length of the baselines on the left side than it is on the right side. It's almost like this is a city block, and
there's been so much focus here for more than 100 years about the left field here, and I always thought the most treacherous part of this ballpark is in right field.
Absolutely.
Right fielders just have
I think this is the
series of decisions to make on just about every ball hit out there, it seems like.
Toughest right field to play right here at Fenway.
Mauer trying to reach out of an 0-2 hole. 1-2, a couple of 2-strike fouls.
Tell me another ballpark that you can, off the top of your head, where the foul pole is just the beginning of a ball that could go even deeper and ricochet. It's like it's encouraging it to go around deeper out there into the corner.
You're a right fielder and you make a wrong decision on a ball hit right down the line. It's an inside the park home run.
Absolutely.
1-2 to Mauer. And another 2-strike foul. It's a short poke right down the right field line. Just 302. But then it gets deep in a hurry to 380.
Even those numbers for the dimensions that you see there are a little bit misleading because there's so many angles at this ballpark. From center field, left center field, all the way out of the right field line.
Backhanded by Drew. And Mauer retired, 1 away.
Stephen Drew looks like he hasn't really missed a beat at shortstop. A couple nice plays here today.
All season long at Target Field, businesses of all sizes get a competitive edge by treating prospects and clients to a Twins game. Take advantage of all that Target Field has to offer your business. From private suites to special group seating arrangements, the Twins group sales team can customize something just for your needs. You can call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com for more info. All right, 1 down in the 7th. And here's Josh Willingham. A little bit low, ball 1. Willingham bounced into a double play in the 1st. Was called out on strikes in the 4th.
De La Rosa's pitch count starting to get up there, 97.
Big swing and a miss. And a breaking ball and missed it, 1-1.
A little bit of stirring in the Red Sox bullpen, but nobody up and throwing yet. I think John Farrell would love to see his right-hander get through this inning.
2-1.
There's John Farrell, skipper of the Red Sox.
to center and deep. Bradley turning one way, then the other, makes the catch. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Morales. Had a chance to talk with Morales a little bit today about his preparation to sign with A-Team. Turns out it was the Twins, and what he did on a daily basis down in Florida. And then I asked him, I said, are you surprised with how well you've hit in your first week with the Twins? And he said, yes, very surprised. And Ron Gardenhire said as much too, that it's uncommon for someone to do what Morales has done, to not have a spring training, try to stay in shape. But you know, there's a difference between being in shape and taking swings in a cage and then out on the field and then stepping in against big league pitching. And so I was just interested that even Morales himself said he was surprised at how well he's done so far. 1-1.
Yeah, there's just no comparison. Even at the great Camp Boris, which is where a lot of the agent Steve Boris's clients were. He was working out with Stephen Drew.
And now 2-1.
I don't know how you can ever replicate big league pitching midsummer, and that's where we're at. Torrey Hunter, though, said this guy can hit. He was my teammate in Anaheim, and we know he can hit, so he paid him a high compliment.
2-1 to Morales. 3-1. Saw Badenhop warming up in the Boston bullpen.
See where AJ sat up. Fastball right over the middle, pretty much saying go after him.
Foul back, and again the Red Sox have a standard infield alignment for Morales. Question worth asking John Farrell, I guess, or paid attention as we move through this series to see how many times they actually shift Morales. Arcia hoping for a chance here in the 7th.
It might be a case where they just didn't read him right.
Popped up. And Napoli sprinting in to make the catch. Ruby De La Rosa has been outstanding here tonight. 13 in a row, set down through 7. CenturyLink linked to what's next. It should be a pitcher's duel tomorrow. Phil Hughes for the Twins, John Lester for the Red Sox. We've only had one run on the board here so far tonight, and it might have a similar type of game tomorrow.
Two of the best for both staffs tomorrow. But how about the job that Ruby De La Rosa is done tonight. We've got a new pitcher for the Twins. It'll be Caleb Thielbar, and that'll end the day for Kevin Correa. 95 pitches, 58 of them strikes, and 12 of 23 first pitch strikes. So pretty darn good job by Kevin Correa tonight. Twins just need to score a run and get him off the hook.
Johnny Gomes is going to hit for Daniel Nava. Nava 1 for 2, dropped a single on the left field line and ended up scoring the only run of the game. Gomes, first ball hitting, lifts it foul past the Twins dugout and out of play. It'll be Gomes, Drew, and Pierzynski against Caleb Thielbar. Pulled foul into the Twins dugout, or near it. 2 strikes. Gomes, one of those guys you talked about, a veteran guy, got some awfully big hits for the Red Sox last year, but it just hasn't worked out well for him this year. A .241 average. A lot of strikeouts, 5 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Just missed the inside corner.
Gomes, another one of those hitters that have a very unique ritual with every single at bat and every pitch. He always grabs his helmet, adjusts it up and down a couple times just before. There it is, right there. Does it every single pitch. It's like he's waving high.
It's a snap bat. And a foul ball. Twins fans, you can go to the game with the Fox Sports North girls at Target Field. For just $32, you'll sit on the Skyline deck with the Fox Sports North girls, plus receive a free t-shirt. Offers only available for the July 24th White Sox and August 22nd Tigers games. Tickets are limited and must be purchased in advance, and you can call 33 Twins and ask for the FSN girls offer.
And here's a young girl happy to get a broken bat.
Gomes has a new one, tugging on his helmet a couple of extra times. And now in the dirt, 2-2. Well, they used to have a right-handed batter here who wore number 5, and he was the most fidgety guy I've ever seen, and that's Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Yeah, he was the king of the wristband snap and the tug on the batting glove and the elastic. Did it on
tapping his toes deeper into his spikes.
Stevie Wonder, very superstitious.
And Gomes draws a walk leading off the 7th inning. That's what Thielbar wanted to do here. And we'll bring up Stephen Drew.
And Drew's had a pretty good day at the plate. A double in the 3rd and then a single in the 5th.
Thielbar trying to get a ground ball hit at somebody here. And a first pitch strike. You saw Thielbar's numbers. An awful lot to like. An opponent batting average of .215. Just 5 walks, one of those intentional. And a breaking ball, strike 2. And I think this is a good thing for a left-handed reliever. He's been equally effective against both lefties and righties.
It's a very good thing.
You know, Thielbar would like to pitch as much as possible, but if you had a big gap in your splits and if you were only getting left-handers out, well, then at a pretty young age you get pigeonholed into that role.
You really do. You get known for that, and then you're only going to get a batter instead of maybe an inning.
2 strikes. 1 and 2. Beyond that, it's really great for the organization because in this day and age when most teams are trying with limited success to limit your pitching staff to 12 rather than go to 13, having a guy, a left-handed reliever that can get both righties and lefties out goes a long way toward helping you do that.
Well, if you only get one side of the plate out, you better make sure it's exceptional. And you always hear managers talking about that. Well, he needs a little more work. We got to do a better job of getting left-handers out. We got to do a better job getting right-handers out.
Breaking ball frozen. A strikeout after the walk. 1 away.
Good off-speed pitch right there. Just a nice kind of a late breaking slider.
Twins have 3 lefties in their pen, and of the 3, Perkins, Dunsing, and Thielbar, only Perkins has a big gap in his splits, and that's because the guy throws 95 and got a nasty breaking ball, and any left-hander's going to have a tough time. Lefties hitting less than 200 against Glenn. Pierzynski drove in the lone Red Sox run with a fly ball. Now a little pop-up short right. Dozier with a long run, and he won't get there. It's a base hit. And a quick retrieve by Fold, keeping Gomes at second base.
Well, this base hit had eyes. Oswaldo Arcia was playing fairly deep. Sam Fold, the same thing. They reacted okay. Ryan Dozier reacted probably the best, but it was just one of those balls that lands out in the middle of that triangle.
That one was in the Bermuda Triangle. Nobody could get there. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. First and second, 1 out. Bradley struck out in the 3rd and hit a comebacker to Correa in the 5th. Down low, ball 1.
Infield now playing at double play depth. Joe Mauer behind AJ at first base. Twins are going to try to go for the double play. Bradley runs well, but you got a number 9 hitter up here hitting 206. You've got to go right after him.
Very strikeout prone, as we mentioned before. And Thielbar misses again, 2-0.
Sox are just 1 for 20 in scoring position.
And the 1 run they've scored came on an out. (2-0). Swinging a foul. Suzuki immediately says, "I'm fine, let's go."
Good swing here by Jackie Bradley Jr. You see the replay. Again, knocking off a face mask of Kurt Suzuki, but he doesn't seem to be shaken up too bad.
Concern in San Francisco of Buster Posey taking a foul ball off the mask yesterday. 3-1 to the number 9 batter with Brock Holt on deck.
I think there's forever concern for those catchers that have suffered concussions anytime they have a foul tip in the head area.
3-1. Foul back 3-2. The walk that led off this 7th inning, as we said, just the 6th, the 5th unintentional walk issued by Thielbar. Bradley has seen the strikeouts mount. He's now struck out 71 times and 204 at bats. And flip foul.
Right-hander Jared Burton throwing in the Twins pen.
Red Sox got their run in the 5th. They threatened in the 6th. Correa did a nice job pitching out of a jam, and now Thielbar finds himself in one. There's another foul off a leg.
"20 pitches, just one out in the inning."
Thielbar's thrown everything he's got at Bradley, trying to get rid of him here for the second out. Got him to Chase. And Bradley strikes out for the second time in the game. 72nd time on the season.
Bradley may have helped Thielbar out there, but he'll take it as a big out. You can see a fastball that was a good 6 inches off the outside corner. Jackie Bradley chases.
Chris Carter, Adam Dunn, George Springer, and Tyler Flowers, the only hitters with more strikeouts in the league than Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 down, 2 on, and here's Brock Holt.
Now with 2 outs, the middle infielders can play a little deeper.
All the lefties that the Red Sox have here hitting in succession in this 7th inning. Gomes, the pinch hitter, the only righty to hit against Thielbar. And he was walked. 1-1. Likely the last man Thielbar will face. Hopefully Thielbar will get Holt for the 3rd out of the inning. 2-1, and Suzuki's going to take the ball back to the mound himself. Quick trip to the mound by the Twins catcher.
It's another good time for a catcher to go out there. Kurt Suzuki can buy a little time for Caleb. He's kind of reminding him, hey, this is the guy you want, especially knowing that there's a right-hander on deck. He's aware that Burton's throwing in the pen. It might be his last hitter, and he's trying to encourage him to get that out and walk off the mound with the rest of his teammates.
2-1. 3-1. Thielbar had to come back from 3-1 to eventually strike out Bradley. To Brock Holt. Strike 2.
That crossed up Kurt Suzuki, and he's going to come out and let him know that it did. It was kind of a front door slider. Starts it on the inner half of the plate. You can see Suzuki not reacting very well, but it was a strike. Appears to me that Suzuki probably called a fastball and Thielbar threw the breaking ball.
Full count. Called 3rd strike. Came back with the fastball. Thielbar ends up striking out the side and stranding 2 Boston runners onto the 8th. Still 1-0. It's a 1-0 ball game. 7 brilliant innings by Ruby De La Rosa. And now in the 8th, the Red Sox hand the ball to lefty Andrew Miller.
Yeah, he can't pitch much better than De La Rosa pitched tonight. 1 hit shutout ball over 7 innings, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. And he just held the Twins very quiet. See if they can do something now against the Red Sox bullpen.
Johnny Gomes is in left. Brock Holt moves to right. Nava out of the game. Oswaldo Arcia will face Andrew Miller. Miller has 4 losses on the year, half of them suffered at Target Field earlier this year. It'll be Arcia, Suzuki, and Escobar in the Twins' 8th. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Beyond the defensive issues that Arcia has had in right field, he's really struggled at the plate. Two quick strikes. Up high.
The way Miller delivers, he's about 6'5", and he's got kind of a crossfire delivery, so it's going to be awful hard for a left-hander to keep his front shoulder in there.
Off the plate, 2-2.
Chris Parmelee did it though early in the year.
Twins have 3 walk-off victories, 2 of them at the expense of Miller. 2-2 to Arcia. Suzuki will hit next, and Arcia waves at a breaking ball. One away in the 8th. How about Ruby De La Rosa, who handcuffed the Twins, allowing just 1 hit.
Well, he had everything going tonight. He struggled a little bit early in the first inning. He walked 2 hitters. He walked another one in the bottom or the top of the 3rd. But after that, just a great evening for him. It's like Andrew Miller's night's going to be done.
He got the left-hander out, and this is what we were talking about before. He faces 1 man in the lead with another pitching change here at Fenway. When the All-Star game came, there'd be a lot of other activities, and they're following through with that. The Imagine Dragons will be performing at TCF Bank Stadium July 12th, and it's a free concert, and should be a very fun night, hopefully under the stars like we've got here tonight in Boston. Imagine Dragons at TCF Bank Stadium on July 12th. Free tickets are available. Twins spent the weekend dealing with Miguel Cabrera, and now they face a couple of relievers that were once traded for Cabrera. Andrew Miller and Burke Badenhop, also part of the trade that sent Miguel Cabrera from the Marlins to the Tigers. Suzuki takes up and in, and it's 1-1.
I think he makes my all-time last name team.
Okay.
I know it's pronounced Badenhop, but it could be pronounced bat hop. You know, and then you got Grant Balfour, which is not Balfour, it's Balfour.
Just to center. And down for a hit. Bradley was lucky to gather it in. And it's a single for Suzuki, who hit the ball hard last time. Bradley caught it in the 5th inning. Now Suzuki gets a 1-out single to center.
First base runner for the Twins since the 3rd inning.
And now Escobar 0 for 2. Comebacker to the mound and a ground ball to second. Escobar's almost been automatic getting a hit a game. And he doesn't have one yet. Twins are hoping he'll produce one here. Strike over the inside corner.
Well, Bogart's in on the grass at third base. He's given him quite a bit of the line.
Very high and outside. 1-1. Marlins got Frankie De La Cruz, Andrew Miller, Dallas Traherne, Cameron Mayburn, Mike Rabello, Baden Hop, for Miguel Cabrera and Dontrell Willis.
And at the time, believe it or not, the key ingredient in that trade was Dontrell Willis. I know that Cabrera put up some good numbers, but the Tigers were still hoping that Dontrell would resurrect his career. It never worked out.
And the key get for the Marlins was Andrew Miller, and he's just evolved into one of those situational left-handers we talked about. Escobar to the left field corner. Gomes with a nice running catch. Escobar made a bid for an extra base hit, but a good jump by Johnny Gomes, and he turns it into the second out.
Well, they had him positioned really well. He was playing at the right depth there, had a sprint to his right. He reacted to the ball very well. Can't hit the ball a whole lot harder than that.
And now Sam Fuld. Fuld walked, stole a base, was caught in a rundown between third and home. He's the closest Twin to touch home plate. Strike over the inside corner. Then he bounced to short in the 6th. Red Sox are not without their warts, but their closer is not one of them. Uehara has been outstanding again. This to the right field corner. Holt won't get there. Suzuki rounding second, on his way to third, and Sam Fuld with a double to set up Danny Santana. 2 men in scoring position with 2 gone. And frankly, Twins have hit the ball very hard against Baden Hop. Suzuki, Escobar, and now Fuld hitting line drives.
As we watch this replay, you realize that Brock Holt does a real good job down the right field line of cutting that ball off. If he lays back on this ball and lets it ricochet around in the corner, Kurt Suzuki would have scored from first base. But he gets over there and cuts that ball off before it hits the wall. And Suzuki's going to have to be held up at third.
And now Santana. Ground ball to second, line drive single to center, and a fly to center. Santana with 103 at bats, 35 hits. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. Santana squares to bunt and takes a strike at the knees. That might have surprised the Red Sox, and I think the most surprised person would have been Kurt Suzuki. The third baseman was playing in. It would have been a challenge for Suzuki to come in and score even on a good bunt. One strike.
Well, the way we saw it all evolve, that was a bunt for a hit.
Chopped up the line, and now 2 strikes. Hop has been hit here in the 8th, but the Twins need one more hit. Hit him, and Santana will go to first, and that fills the bases for Dozier.
I don't think that's the kind of hit you were talking about, but the result was something got hit.
And now Dozier, who among active members of the roster is the top RBI guy on the Twins. He's walked, struck out, and bounced out.
Now this is a chance for Brian to show the all-star manager for the American League that he's worthy of consideration.
And he takes a strike. Don't know what's going to happen here, but these are exactly the situations the Twins have thrived on here at Fenway Park over the last couple of years. Late inning clutch hits, many of them involving the Green Monster. Strike 2. And Dozier doesn't concur.
High breaking ball.
Just off the corner. Fox track showing you how close that was to a called third strike.
It takes a lot of guts for a hitter to take that pitch. 0-2.
And Pierzynski tried to steal it for his pitcher. Fouling out of play. Another lefty, Chris Capuano, and Edward Mujica warming up. Just got a piece of that slow breaking ball.
Quite a battle going on right now. This is as good a chance as the Twins have had. They need a hit here or a walk, a wild pitch, anything to score that runner, Kurt Suzuki, at third to tie this game up.
Got him. Foul tip. Pierzynski hangs on. And the Twins leave the bases full in the 8th. strikeout of Brian Dozier to get out of the inning.
Here's pitch by pitch of that last at bat for Dozier. First pitch fastball right down Broadway, and this one was one. Oh, that's the second pitch. Another fastball up. Brian just was able to take that close fastball away, foul off. Another tough ball up and away. Another breaking ball that was right at him, and then he throws his best pitch, the last one, a slider down and away, and gets out of a huge scoring opportunity for the Twins.
Neither team has a run scoring hit. The one run the Red Sox have came on a fly ball. Jared Burton will try to keep this a 1-0 ball game. Bogarts, Pedroia, and Ortiz in the Boston eighth. Twins will have the 3, 4, and 5 batters due up. And it'll be Koji Uehara. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Well, they've got to hope that Jared can get through this inning and give him one more pop at it. They just need the one run to tie. A one base runner and maybe a check swing over the left field wall. They win the game.
1-1. That's a half swing. I think he went. Strike. You know, the Twins have gotten the late hits here that we've talked about over the last couple of years, but at Target Field earlier this year, Twins got 2 walk-off hits, one by Parmalee, one by Aaron Hicks. Let's see if there's a little 9th inning magic here in Fenway. Strikeout of Bogarts, 1 away. Carsoup.com trivia question involves Brian Dozier indirectly, who got his 15th stolen base to go with the 15 home runs. I said Torrey Hunter.
I think it's Michael Kadire.
It was Torrey Hunter.
You got it.
Torrey left the game for the Tigers today, and they are getting thrashed. Justin Verlander gave up 7 earned runs. It's Kansas City 11-2 in the 7th inning. Strike one. Any sense? No, we didn't see him pitch, but any sense what you think might be going on with Verlander?
I've got a very good idea what's going on. I watched his last game on TV the night that we got into Detroit on the off day.
Popped up right side. Looks like Dozier's camped right underneath it. 2 down. Promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto, and you might see your picture on TV. Brought to you by AT&T.
Hey, it's TC and the gang.
Quite a gang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Regarding Verlander.
Well, I see what happens to him is his velocity is starting to come back. At least it did in the game that I watched. But too many balls left out over the plate, and when he gets in trouble, instead of slowing down and trying to read what a hitter's trying to do, he's bulling up and trying to just overpower him, and it's just backfiring on him because he's making a lot of mistakes out over the plate. He's not pitching ahead very much. He's behind too many guys, and it just snowballs. I think you just got to step back sometimes and understand that whatever's going on, whatever you're trying to do is not working, so what can I do different? That's just my take. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm just reflecting back on times in my career where things started going south, and I did a lot of the same things. I tried to go harder, thinking that if I work harder, I'll get better results.
2-1. When we were in Detroit, all the talk was about Verlander's velocity coming back, and then he said his stuff was back, but that's a completely different thing, isn't it? Stuff and velocity?
Absolutely. Velocity is great, but over the middle, not so good.
Right.
96, 97 is still hittable in the big league level over the middle of the plate.
2-1 to Ortiz, and now 3-1.
Correa in particular has done a very good job with David Ortiz today.
Well, the 4 and 5 batters, Ortiz and Napoli, are right now a combined 0 for 6. And Ortiz will take a walk, and that will bring Napoli to the plate. And now Burton will go after Napoli. Napoli's 0 for 3 with a couple of walks against Burton. Up and in, ball 1.
Burton's going to have to come right back now and throw a strike here. He can't get behind Napoli also. You don't want to put a runner in scoring position.
To center and Fold has plenty of room. Burton pitches a clean 8th. It's 1-0. Joe Mauer will lead off the top of the 9th. Off the 9th inning against the Boston closer Koji Uehara, who has been outstanding. The Red Sox are 7 games below the 500 mark, have nothing to do with their closer. He's been every bit as good as he was last year. An opponent batting average of 163. Doesn't walk people, strikes out a bunch of people, 42 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings. He'll face Mauer and Willingham, who've been hitless against Uehara. And then Kendrys Morales, who's almost hit for the cycle against him.
Uehara pounds the strike zone, throws strikes.
And he hits that down and away corner, strike 1 to Mauer. Mauer walked in the first, lined out to Holt in the 4th, and then hit a ground ball to short. 2 balls put in play, both to the left side, and now flared to left, and Gomes comes in to make the catch, 1 away. Left fielders play so shallow here, they are able to come in and make plays on hits that balls put in play that might be hits elsewhere. One down, and now Willingham. Hitless in 5 at bats, 4 strikeouts for Willingham against Uehara. Down and away, ball 1. On the outside corner. Twins have been limited to 3 hits. A double and 2 singles. The Red Sox run scored on a fly ball. 2-1.
Uehara does so many things right. His command of obviously his best trait, but he changes speeds well. He goes up and down in the strike zone well.
And now 3-1. Mentioned just 4 walks in now 31 innings. And he's in danger of walking Willingham in front of Morales. Big swing and a miss.
Another thing hitters talk about with Uehara is they don't pick up the ball very well off of him. And that was an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. It looked like it was 98.
Wrapped to third. Right at Bogarts. 2 down. Kendrys Morales has faced Uehara 5 times. He's gotten a single, a triple, and a home run against him. Trying to keep the game alive for the Twins and for Arcia, who's in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. And the Twins were here last, a little bit earlier in the season last year. And now as Uehara delivers, 2 infielders sprint to the shift position.
When's the last time you saw that?
Well,
right in the middle of a delivery.
I remember Ray Miller got called for that. He used to try to do that with Wade Boggs at the plate, try to distract him a little bit. 1-1. Morales fouls at 1-2. This is 2 pitches ago.
You see Uehara is on the mound, and Morales steps in, and while Uehara is pitching, you see Drew shifting over and Pedroia shifting over.
Twins down to their last strike. Morales to center. Bradley coming in to end the game. A rarity here at Fenway Park. A 1-0 ball game. Anthony LaPanta, this is known as a great hitter's ballpark, but the only run scored here tonight came on an out, and the Red Sox win the series opener. Whoop, I'm sorry.